everyone, Janie here, and today I am so excited because I'm going to be sharing a new card fold with you that I came up with some time ago and actually never made one until recently because I needed to make sure that it actually worked. You know, in my head it worked. I had to know that it actually worked. And so I made one and it worked and I'm so happy with it. And I did search YouTube and Etsy to see if anyone else had made this particular card fold, and I found some things that are similar but not exactly the same. And so as far as I know, it's my baby, which makes it even more exciting. And it's basically a combination of two card folds put together. And I also didn't know what to call it. I asked a few of my friends and I finally came up with the name. And so I am calling it the Triptych Easel Card with a Twist. And now you're going to see why. Okay, so this is the card. Not the one we're making today, but this one I made for my friend Tim for his birthday. And I made it 5x7. The card that I'm making today is going to be A2 size because when I took a poll of my viewers, they seem to prefer A2 size. But after watching the video, if any of you decide you want to see it in a 5x7, let me know in the comments. Okay, so this is what the card looks like. And then this opens up. That opens up. And that opens up. And so I'm going to hold on to it so I can tilt it up for you to see. So what we have is a twisted easel card, or a double twisted easel card, and then an easel card, all combined into one. And whereas this piece is the stopper for the twisted easels are the stopper for the back easel. And it is just so beautiful. I love this card fold. I came up with it because I really wanted to do something special for Tim. And I came across this paper that you see here in the back, and I thought, oh my gosh, that would be so great on an easel card, but I've done so many easel cards. I wanted to do something different. And so this popped into my head while I was going to sleep. That's when the best ideas come, is when you're in bed going to sleep. And so this is it, and I'll post some other pictures of it, but this is what I'm going to be showing you how to make today. Because I recently did a tutorial on making an A2 size double twisted easel card, I'm just going to insert part of that tutorial into this video since the instructions are the same, and then I will come back after that and continue the rest of this tutorial. For this card base, you're going to need a piece of cardstock that is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, or a pre-folded A2 size card base. And mine is pre-folded, but if yours isn't, you would score it at 4 1/4 inches right down the middle. And then we're going to score it again at 2 3/4 inches. So I'm going to just score it right there. Okay. And then this next part, you can do it a variety of ways. So one way is to turn your cardstock and score it at 2 3/4 inches, which is half of 5.5, so 2 3/4, and you would score it to that score line because you're going to cut on that line. So you're creating a score line to cut on. Or you can use a pencil and a ruler and just measure on here to the 2 3/4, you know, put a little mark right there, then come up here and do the same thing at 2 3/4 so that you will know where to cut. But I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my paper trimmer. So let me bring that in. move that out of the way. And I'm just going to put this in at 2 3/4 inches. And make sure everything is lined up straight. Okay. And I'm just going to cut to that score line. So just move it right across and stop right at the score line. And there we go. Now I have that cut in half. Next, you're going to need to score from this inside corner to the outside corner on both sides. And if you have a scoreboard and you're good at doing that, that is great. For me, I'm going to use my ruler, and to do that, I'm going to flip this over so that once I do this, the fold is going the right direction. So I'm just going to line my ruler up from that corner to the outer corner, like so. And then I'm just going to lift that up and create a score line, just like so. And you know, sometimes it doesn't matter whether you're using a scoreboard or a ruler, you may not get it exactly straight. And so this is the time to make sure that everything is straight. And then you can, you know, use your bone folder to smooth it down. And we're going to do that on both sides. And that's going to create the easel that we need. So do that again over here. And then fold it over. And again, this one isn't quite as straight as I would like it, so I'm just straightening it out before I burnish it down. And with that done, now when we turn it over, okay, it looks like this, and it's going to fold up like that. Of course, hold on a minute here. Let's fold that. There we go. That's one thing I forgot to tell you, is that that score line is a valley score line. So if you didn't have a pre-folded A2 size card, then you're going to fold that center one as a mountain fold, and then the one that we did at 2 3/4 inches, we're going to make that one a valley fold. And you'll see what we're going to be doing with that here in a little bit. But right here, we just created the easel. Okay, next we are going to put glue or double-sided tape or both right here in this section, okay? And we are going to glue that shut, okay? We're not going to glue the flaps down, we're just going to glue down that section. I prefer using my Beacon 3-in-1. Sometimes I like using the double-sided tape and the Beacon, but today I'm just going to use this, and make sure that you get that whole section glued down, okay? So I'm getting my glue in there, getting it right there to the edge, all right? And I'm just going to close that over like so and glue it down, okay? So the flaps are still here that are for the easel, but this section right here that we had scored off, that is being glued down, okay? And now we are left with the easel pieces, and it is time to start putting this together. Okay, so now we have this base part for the double twisted easels, and next we need to do the piece for the back easel. So you will need a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and you will score it at 4 1/4 inches, which I have already done, and you are also going to score it at 2 1/8 inches. So I'm going to do that right there, which is basically scoring this section here in half. And so this is a mountain fold, and this is also a mountain fold, and it's going to create a tent-like look when we attach it to the card. And next I'm going to be attaching this easel piece to the back of the card base, just like that. And in order to do that, you turn your card base over, and you can either just eyeball it, or you could do what I did, which is take a ruler, and I measured in 5/8 of an inch on each side and put a pencil mark. If the pencil mark shows, you can always erase it. And so we're just gluing on this 1-inch strip right here. You can use double-sided tape, or you can use a wet glue like I'm doing, totally up to you. And so I'm gonna get the glue on there, and I'm just gonna turn this over, and I'm gonna line it up right between those. I'm gonna fold this over so that I know everything is positioned right. And there we go. And there is a little bit of pencil showing there, but you may be putting a piece of, like white cardstock on the back just to, put your sentiment and everything. If not, just erase it, or don't make your lines as big as I did. And so when you turn it over, this is what the easel looks like for the back. Okay? All right, now it's time to talk about the layers. I typed this up, and you can pause and do a screenshot, or pause and write it down. This is not the full instructions for the card. It does have some measurements, but it has the layers, and it tells you each item, like the back easel, it'll tell you one layer and another layer. The twisted easels that you need 2 of, it shows 1 layer and the next layer. And it does that all the way down for each of the pieces that need layers. And so feel free to pause and write down, or screenshot. So here are my layers. These are the 2 layers for the back easel, the 2 layers for the 2 twisted easels, the layers for the stopper piece, and then these 2 layers I'm actually not going to be using, but I thought I would show them to you anyway, because I'm going to be using something different. But this one goes right back here on that area that was scored and glued down. Goes right back there. And then this piece goes on the bottom right down there. Okay, so I just wanted you to see where all of the layers go. And once I have these all glued together, I will show you how they all fit on here. Okay, I got all of my layers put together, and I also added all of these really sweet elements and papers that came from a hunky-dory card making kit that I got with a magazine from the UK years ago. So I really can't direct you to where to get it, but I came across it while I was unpacking my stuff, and I absolutely had to use it. So let's start putting it together. Okay. So I think I'm going to start with this layer right here. As I told you, I wasn't using the other layers, and that's because I was using this instead. It is so pretty. Okay, so that's going to go on the bottom here, on the inside on the bottom. This one goes right back here on that section. And I want to make sure that it's lined up so that it kind of matches with what's down on the bottom, so that they just kind of look like they go together. Okay, now comes the fun part. So I'm going to start with this piece, and if you're not familiar with easel cards, you're only going to put glue on this section, not on the whole thing. No, 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 just on this section. And that is where this is going to attach, just on that section. Okay, so take the bottom of your easel part and put it on there. And you can actually lay this down, making sure that everything lines up nicely. You can also turn it over this direction and look at it, but you only want it on that bottom section, just like that. Okay, so Now I'm going to turn that over and we're going to work on these. Now these are important, okay? This is really important, so pay attention. You are thinking, okay, I put it on this way, facing me. No, 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 no. Because of the way this opens, you actually want it facing the center. So both of these, let me grab it, both of these will face each other. They will face the center so that when they stand up, then they're going the right direction. Okay, so really, really important. Do not make the mistake of putting it on that way, because if you do, it's going to be sideways. Okay, and I need to remember which way I wanted these to go. Not that it makes a difference, they're just both sentiments, but I think I want this one on this side. So again, just like with doing that easel, you're only going to want to put the glue on this angle, okay, on that triangle right there. You do not want it on everything, okay? So I've got that on there. Again, remembering it faces the other direction. I've got glue all over me. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down and face it toward the center. And this is the time where you actually make sure you're not going up over the score line or anything like that. You want to make sure that everything is lined up nicely and that this is facing the inside. Okay, same thing on this one. So I'm just going to be putting glue on this outer part here. And you know what's really funny is usually there's too much light in this room. I need to get some shades, and for some weird reason today there's not enough light and the sun is shining. I don't understand. Okay, making sure that this is facing the right direction. I'm going to just put it down on there, and again making sure that everything lines up, that it's not going over, you know, the fold line, and that everything is facing the right direction so that when they stand up like that, facing the right direction. Okay, next is the stopper, and I better go grab my foam tape for that. Okay, so you need foam tape because it needs to pop up to hold everything in place. Okay, so I'm just going to cut up some foam tape here. Cut that one too long. That happens sometimes. And I'm just going to add a few pieces. If it was bigger, I think I'd put another one in the middle, but I don't think I need to do that. So there we go, making sure I have everything going the right direction. Now, hold on one second. Okay, you can either use a ruler or a pencil. You need to find the exact center, which is where these meet. I really don't like to use a pencil, especially when I'm using that special paper, because I don't know if I can erase it off. But you need to find the exact center for the point. It's going to be easy to find the exact center at the top one. Okay, it's right where those come together. But you just want to make sure that you are also getting the center down here. Now this one seems to go in there just fine, but sometimes finding the exact center, you know, you might want to measure. Okay, I'm not going to measure, I'm just pointing that out to you. Also, remember that when you put your image on here, that it's going to go this direction. So you don't want to put your image facing this way and then turn it sideways, okay? So make sure that you know that your image is, you know, on this while it's at this kind of an angle. So I hope I'm not confusing anybody about that. This is really important. Oh, also, I like to use just a couple drops of glue just to give me some wiggle room in case I feel like I'm not getting something on there straight. So making sure that I have it going the right direction. I'm just going to open that up, put that right there, and hope that that is the center. It looks like it is perfect as far as I'm concerned. So there we go. we have that done. Now watch this. That is the stopper. These, I'm going to tip this up so you can see it better. So the twisted easels are the stopper for the back easel. So these needed a stopper, which is right here in front, and this one didn't need an extra stopper because it is stopped by those. And that is how easy it is to make this card. And I wish I could get the camera at a right angle, but I will take pictures so that you can see it. It is super cute, and I think I might add a few embellishments to this, so you'll see in the final pictures. So this is what the card looks like when the recipient takes it out of the envelope. And on the back, and I mentioned it earlier, you can put a piece of cardstock, maybe a piece of white, where you will have your stamped sentiment and your signature or whatever you want to do, because that's how I do mine. And so this is the beautiful card, and then it all pops up nicely. And if any of you are wondering about how is the recipient going to know how to open this, it's pretty much like any of the specialty fold cards that we make. We know what we're doing, but the recipient may not, so I suggest that you explain it to the recipient after they receive their card. I have found out, though, that most of my recipients figure it out on their own. To be honest with you, you may think, how will they know? But sometimes things are just more apparent than we realize they are. I hope you like this card fold, because I absolutely love it, and it was so exciting to visualize this card and then to actually make it and have it all come together so perfectly. If you've seen this exact card fold before, please only let me know if you can provide a link so I can check it out. I know that there are some similar, but I have not yet seen one exactly like this. Thank you all so much for letting me share this exciting moment with you. I would love for you to leave me a comment telling me your thoughts on this card. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.